Thanks for joining, everyone. Today, we're here to talk a bit about the connection between challenging behaviors and communication. So specifically, we'll hone in on better understanding those behaviors, functional communication, and how functional communication can help to reduce those challenging behaviors. So I'll start out with a few quick intros. I'm Adriana Neumann. We'll be leading the questions and discussion today, and the Senior Clinical Director for NeurAbilities, overseeing our 14 sites. We've got Erin O'Brien, Clinical Director for our Cherry Hill and Freehold locations. And then we have Clinical Director Abby Dalton, who oversees our Allentown site. So let's get started. I often find that we're working to help families understand why learners engage in challenging behaviors and how functional communication can help. So would love to start there. If you can share some of your thoughts, Abby.
Sure. All behavior, whether it's verbal or nonverbal, is a way of communicating a need, a want, or an emotion. And sometimes individuals who have difficulty communicating might find that it's easier to get their needs met by engaging in challenging behavior. So, for example, a child might learn that if they want candy, it could be easier for them to get that candy by crying or having a tantrum than by asking for it.
Yeah, Abby, I think that's a great example. Ultimately, our goal is to teach an alternative form of communication that's more functional. And what that means is that it's more easily understood by others and far less disruptive.
Sure. So if we could dive in even more, Erin, can you explain a bit about ABA and how we use it to teach functional communication?
Sure. So this is going to look a little different for every learner. Our first step is really we want to identify what need that challenging behavior is meeting, and we want to teach that more functional means to get that need met. And that usually is communication. So with ABA, we use evidence-based strategies to teach learners how to effectively communicate their needs, their feelings, or preferences. And there may be multiple ways that we do this. We're going to see what works for that learner. It could be with words or vocal language. They may use sign language, or we may also use assistive communication devices. And along with this, we want to seek out to create opportunities for learners to practice this skill as much as possible. There are different skills that include requesting items or activities. So they may want to request a snack. They may want to request to go for a walk. We can also teach them to express their emotions. They can let us know if they're mad or tired. And even something as simple as making choices, deciding between reading a book or playing with Legos, and then ultimately leading into engaging in conversations with others. So having this insight into how children are feeling or knowing their wants and needs can really help parents know a better way to respond when challenging behaviors occur.
Thank you. That's really helpful, Erin. Can you expand and describe how ABA can help caregivers, teach functional communication to help reduce challenging behaviors?
Absolutely. So clinicians have the opportunity to work one-on-one with caregivers and really teach them specifically how to respond when those challenging behaviors occur, and also how to create those opportunities to practice. I've worked with many families that are really good at anticipating their child's needs, and it eliminates that opportunity to use that functional communication response. So we get in there and really show where those opportunities are and create those opportunities to give the learner more opportunities to learn that functional communication response. We also want to make it easier and more impactful for the learners to use that functional communication rather than engaging in that challenging behavior. So ultimately, we're looking at each situation, really analyzing the factors that could be contributing to the situation and what specific need or want needs to be met in order to guide our recommendations.
Absolutely, Erin. For example, we know that attention from caregivers can be very, very motivating for children. And so they might engage in challenging behavior to try to get that attention from caregivers. So we might teach them a more appropriate way to get that need met, whether it's asking them to play or requesting a hug or requesting to be held. And those are such meaningful things for our families and the children that we work with. So very socially significant, to be able to communicate those needs.
Yeah. I know we've also received some questions from families asking, why this is so important, especially if a person already has a way to communicate that seems to work. So, for example, pointing or leading to a desired item. So Abby, would love some of your thoughts on that one.
Absolutely. Yeah. Pointing or guiding to an item can be very effective and easily understood by others. But what happens when that item isn't present? So if a child is just thinking about something and they want to get access to it, then how are they going to communicate that need then? Also, as children grow up, some of the challenging behaviors might be a little bit more difficult to work through. So if you have a 2-year-old and they're hitting to get access to something, that might not be as big of a deal and might be able to work through that. But then if you have an 18-year-old who is hitting to get something, that can be more challenging of a situation.
Yeah, sure. So let me ask each of you, kind of as we wrap up here, what are your thoughts on the true power of teaching functional communication? Abby, we'll ask for you to start.
Sure. Giving someone the power to communicate, it really allows for opportunities for independence, and it gives them a chance to be able to have other people understand their wants, needs, and feelings.
Absolutely. Erin, do you mind sharing your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, to piggyback off of what Abby said, I think having the means of functional communication provides increased opportunities for meaningful social interactions, along with the opportunity for participation in more inclusive settings in the community and school, just more opportunity to engage in the world around them.
Absolutely. Well, thank you both for joining today, and hopefully everybody is able to take away a bit of information from this.